Hello again. Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk series. If you're new to our channel, I'm Doris and this is my husband Anthony. I just want to say a big thank you for everyone that watched our last videos, commented, gave their feedbacks and equally subscribed. We were blessed by them, we've been encouraged by them, and we are motivated by them. God bless you, real God. So today we'll be looking at barriers to conflict management. In the last two episodes we've been looking at conflict and conflict management. So in this series we'll be looking at what stops people from reconciling, what stops people from making their marriages work, what leads to divorce and what leads to separation. So before we go there, I just want my husband to give us a recap to with regards to the last two episodes.
Yeah, in our previous episodes we spoke about the little foxes that's around conflict, the definition of conflict, the little foxes that spoil the vine. We spoke about the issues that we are allowed to linger on that leads to conflict and which eventually damages our marriage and relationship. In our last episode we discussed about conflict management. We mentioned the ACC of conflict management, which is to avoid, to compromise, to collaborate, and to accommodate. In that same episode, we emphasize on the understanding for couples to know that an atmosphere of competitive atmosphere must be discouraged in their homes, but a complementary atmosphere, as couples are to be seen as playing in the same team, the same team. Team don't play against each other, they don't score against each other.
That's right.
No winner, no loser in issue of conflict. Everybody wins together.
That's true.
And that is very, very important.
With regards to being a team, I would say, it takes two to tango. It takes two to make it work. Bible says, can two agree, can two work together unless they agree? So there should be a level of agreement between both parties for things to work out. No matter the interventions, no matter the counseling sessions, if one person doesn't want it to make it work, it wouldn't really work. So without wasting our time, we'll just go to the reasons or the factors that leads to
the barriers to conflict management. The first I put on my list is culture. The issue of culture in relation to prejudices, preconceived notions, stereotyping. For example, you will hear people say intertribal marriage doesn't work. If you marry someone from different ethnic background, the marriage will not work.
And then, and with regards to that, it plays a lot because, you enter with that mindset, the least challenges that, or the slightest thing that happens in your marriage, you'll be thinking, oh, and I was told it's not going to work. So what, is good to think positively. You don't enter with that kind of mentality, because if you enter with that kind of mentality, it's definitely not going to work.
Yeah, we also see and we also hear in societal concept of a man is always right. A woman must always be the one to respect the man. You hear people say a woman must always work to keep her home or to keep her man.
But you never hear a man should, put things in place to please, the wife. Especially when it comes
towards making the marriage to work.
Especially when it comes to giving advice, like during a wedding or during a traditional traditional wedding, they'll be like, keep your man, keep your man, keep your man, but they'll never tell a man, keep your home, keep your home, keep our home. So it now puts, there's always that laxity from from the man's
I always emphasize that respect is mutual and respect is reciprocal. You receive respect from your wife, it is expected you give respect back to your wife. And that leads me to another point as a barrier in pride and ego. Pride befalls a man is the downfall of any marriage, not only a man, even a woman. When a man starts to think he is too good for the wife. Likewise, when a woman begins to feel that she is too good for the man, then problem is starting to rear up its head. You see your spouse as a lesser being. You start seeing your spouse as a lesser player in the union. It is not good. It is a barrier to addressing issue or resolving conflict.
And I think pride and ego is actually the most prominent factor in most marriage, separations and divorce, because everyone is saying I'm right, and no one is wanting to take the blame, because you're thinking you're trying to prove a point, and then you end up being in a situation where the children suffers in a case where children are involved. And this leads me to what I'll consider another aspect that leads to divorce, which is third party. Third party in terms of your friend, it can be in terms of your parents. It's true, yes, all these people, they love us, but at the end of the day, how do they influence us? Do they influence us to build our marriage, or do they influence us to destroy our marriages? The thing is, those people, especially when it comes to our parents are really, really caring, but the truth is sometimes too much love is detrimental to marriages, because what they are trying to do is they are trying to make sure that my child is safe, my child is in good hands, but and they try to see things from your point, ignoring the husband's probably, or the wife's side, or the other parties point of view. So in cases like that, it's quite difficult for the marriage to work when a parent or is already siding, or a friend is already castigating your spouse. Sometimes because of that, you're like, what, all these people are for me, so I don't even care to everybody can see that I'm the one that is right.
We are not saying that parental counsel, parental advice is not good. But we just need to be very, very careful, because our parent will always give a little bit biased advice. And that leads me to temperament as a barrier in conflict management. Temperament in the form of being short-tempered. Temperament relating to becoming physically aggressive or verbally aggressive, reacting spontaneously to issue. You will hear a man, just because of an issue, pack out of my house, telling the wife, pack out of my house. The woman saying the same. Action not being well thought of, just act on it as it happened. It is a big barrier to managing conflict.
And that is so true. And when this repeats itself over and over and over again, you tend to see that one party is like, what, I'm done, I'm fed up, I can't handle this. Sometimes as well, it might also be like, maybe it might be, maybe either of the parties, maybe one is an adulterer, or maybe maybe a gambler, and you find yourself, you guys are going through that circle of conflict, and all this exchange of toxic words to each other. You get to that point where it becomes challenging to actually sit both parties down to make things right. So we should be mindful that mindful of these things, because it plays a vital role. It's like a seed, that if you keep watering and watering and watering, it's going to bear bad fruits, not good fruits.
That's true. And that always lead to those is it 3 or 4 words statement, I am fed up. Those are the words that shouldn't come from our mouth.
Tired.
I'm tired. I'm tired of this marriage, from our spouses. That also leads me to the last point I put down, as lack of spiritual sensitivity. That is what we call the God factor in marriage, the God factor in union. God is the author of our marriage. He instituted marriage. Therefore, on no condition should he play the second fiddle, should he be at the background. When we begin to see reduction in the place of God in our marriage, then problem is abound.
Yeah.
Even spiritual sensitivity as well in the area of prayerlessness.
Yeah.
When a woman start to stay away from prayers, when the man start to stay away from prayer, on no reason should that happen. But when you start seeing your spouse beginning to bring reasons for not doing that, then you begin to see a barrier to resolving issues.
Yeah, another issue as well when it comes to barriers to conflict management is the idea or ideology that there are better fishes in the water. What do I mean by that? It means that what, if it doesn't work, I can always get married, I can always get another man, and then you put on this this laxity with regards to making your marriage work. It's true, you can always get a man, it's true, you can always get married, but the truth is there's no guarantee that this person you're going to meet is going to be better. Everyone has his or her own weaknesses until you get closer to to them before you realize it. So we need to be mindful, so with this with this notion that I can always get better, I can always
you
get
hear people say the devil is better than the angel you don't know. They always say the bird in hand, a bird in hand is better than 10 in the bushes. So there are some logic in all those statements that we need to apply wisdom in our homes, in our marriage, to manage conflict.
Yeah. And I would say that the truth is, marriage doesn't make you make your marriage.
That's
marriage
true.
can be likened to a carpenter and a tree. Before a carpenter actually gets his or her desired furniture, there's a lot of hard work, there's a lot of consistency, there's a lot of pruning, there's a lot of molding. So you need to get to that point that you're ready to work, to make things work.
For the carpenter to put the shape of what he actually designed in the furniture from the tree.
From the tree. So what you want to see, you need to act what you want to see. You need to speak what you want to see. Words are powerful, and it creates the atmosphere of our homes. So we need to be mindful of that as well. And another thing I'll bring to our attention that has led to many separations and divorces in our society is mentors, pastors, godparents, what have you, coaches, some of these people, I'm not saying all of them, but some of these people, they give counseling based on their experiences. They forget to know that each and everyone's marriage is different. What works for them might not work for you. You might be the lion of the tribe of your house. You believe that if you say yes, nobody can say no. But in somebody else's house, that is not the case. So when a woman comes in to say, this is how my husband is behaving, with what you're doing in your house, you're thinking that woman is not submissive, you're thinking that woman is not respectful. But you need to bear in mind that what works for you doesn't work for them.
One cap doesn't fit all.
Doesn't fit
in
all.
Issue of marriage.
And as a counselor, as a mentor, and as a pastor, it's always good to always hear it from hear the other person's point of view as well before you actually you actually give an advice, because sometimes there's that tendency for us to be biased when we know someone when we know someone more. So
especially if one of the parties is closer to you. I'm talking from a pastoral point of view now. If one of the party is closer to you than the other, you have that tendency
to think
right. This one more, so this person must always be the right one. But that is wrong.
That is
on
not
no condition. Should any party bring the issue of conflict to you and you base your judgment, your advice on that particular person without hearing the other person's view.
Yeah, and I hope you were blessed by this session. It was quite a quick one. We just wanted to highlight some of the things, that is leading to divorces, leading to separations. We just need to be mindful, because like my husband said, it's those little things. Let's not let things build up. Let's try and communicate. Let's look for a way where we can listen to each other. The truth is, marriage is hard work. Marriage is hard work. Marriage is hard work. The Bible says the two shall become one. It is a continuous process. It is a continuous process. It doesn't just happen automatically. We need to give allowance, for understanding, give allowance for each other's weakness, and that is how we can enjoy our marriages effectively.
And let me end with Matthew chapter 5 verse 9. It says, "Blessed are the peacemakers, because they shall be called the children of God."
Amen.
Husband, wife, be the peacemaker of your home, so that all of us can be called the children of God. Thanks for watching. Be blessed.
Be blessed. And just a quick one before we shut. Our next episode will be on
for the singles. So the singles, watch out. We've spoken enough with the married. Singles, next in line.
All right. I hope you were blessed. Remain lifted and stay safe. Bye-bye.